Welcome to Affiliate Buzz, the longest-running program on affiliate marketing. James and Arlene Martell are here to inspire, inform, and motivate you with expert insight, interviews, and information that will increase your bottom line. Advance your affiliate marketing efforts every week on Affiliate Buzz. Now, please welcome James and Arlene.
Yes, it's James Martell here, and welcome to edition number 461 of the Affiliate Buzz, where we've been keeping affiliates inspired, informed, and motivated to succeed with affiliate programs since way back in 2003. If you're joining us live here today on Cranberry Radio, it's great to have you with us. If you happen to be joining us through a podcast on your smartphone, tablet, computer, or Wi-Fi radio, a very special welcome to you as well. Arlene is away today, however, not to worry. I do have a very special guest joining us, David Dalka, founder and managing director of Fearless Revival. And today, we're going to talk to David about the potential for strategic positioning in the performance marketing industry to make sure we all get paid what we're worth. In the July 2016 edition of Feedfront magazine, David acknowledged that as publishers, you work hard generating qualified traffic for your advertisers, but then asks, do they always pay you what you're worth for the risk that you're taking? And do you even know, or do they even know that you're taking risks? And if people understood that, they would understand the significant value that you create for them, and only when they understand that the value that you're bringing to them, that you can get, then you can get paid what you are worth. Now, David is the founder and managing director again of Fearless Revival, advises chief executive officers, global leaders, and their teams to rethink perspectives and reshape priorities about business, technology, and trends in society. David translates symptoms, buzzwords, and information overload into actionable root causes. David completed an MBA at the University of Chicago. As part of his ongoing research and passion for lifelong learning, he has participated in thousands of events, read thousands of books and research papers, and conducted podcasts with authors to deepen questions to gain new insights. As a result of this research, David discovered the need to found Fearless Revival. David, welcome to the Affiliate Buzz.
Well, it's an honor to be with you, James. It's especially an honor to be with you for a prime number episode like 461.
Well, there you go. It's good to have you on board, and I know we met up with you in Chicago last summer during the Affiliate Summit event, and also the Share Sale think tank. And with that, let's kind of kick it off there. What did you know, and how did you become involved with digital marketing in the performance marketing community?
It's kind of a slow evolution. I originally got involved in the digital space through being a volunteer in December 2005 at the Search Engine Strategies Conference here in Chicago, just as a Q&A microphone runner, because I was interested in the space, wanted to learn about it, and that was a cheap way to explore it. And I went there and I heard this universal message from everybody I heard, which was I learned these new skills and I'm using these new skills, and whether they worked in a company, and said that they were mismanaged by somebody, or whether they were independent and said I do these things for clients and they don't understand my worth and it's frustrating. The message was consistent. There's very talented digital people out there that do wonderful, very strategic, high-value work. And to go back to the article last year that I wrote with the blessings of Sean Collins, is a lot of people don't actually get paid what they're worth in this space for the high level of value they sometimes provide. You're absolutely right to remind me about that, and other people need to be reminded about that as well.
It's so interesting. I was talking with an associate of mine up here just last week, and the two of us had got together. He had a client, and he's very knowledgeable in the online SEO space, and as am I. And we wanted to put together a website for a company that basically erects steel buildings. And we looked at his site. We ended up building him a brand new site, built it out, did a magnificent job on it, if I may say, highly ranked. And here's a company that was doing marginal sales online. And all of a sudden they land a major customer where just to deal with this one customer alone, the payroll that has increased that company by $1 million a month just because of one client that came to them through the website that we put together for them. Now, needless to say, we didn't get paid anything close to what the potential of what we brought to them was. And that's why I'm interested to talk to you about this, because that spawned a whole conversation between he and I, is if there is a way for us to actually get paid for what we're worth and the business that we can bring to them is something that is a very interesting idea. And I know when you and I met in Chicago, you would encourage people to look at their overall risk differently. Could you elaborate on that some more?
Well, the companies that acquire services need to look at their risk differently, and that has a number of different facets. There's a risk of the platforms you use changing their terms of service. We see, you have guests on every week that talk about Facebook or Google or, insert name of important property here, changed their terms of service, and it dynamically changed all these other things. So people have channel risk in businesses. People that provide services, and affiliate traffic to businesses have that same risk. And the problem is, we really don't have an open discussion about that as much as we need to, right? Simple little events like last year when Google changed its terms of service and started putting 4 ads on the top of the page. Well, that has an impact on, the pricing because they got rid of the ads on the right side and changed the supply curve, made it less. It also had an impact on the number of SEO spots that were seen by the average searcher that, many of which still don't know the difference between pay-per-click or organic, right? We still meet people like that. You still sit in coffee shops and watch somebody, Google their airline to check on a ticket, and then you watch them click the pay-per-click ad, and you kind of, as it happens, you go through that, no, what are you doing? We watch people do that every day, right? So we see those things, and then corporations, because they don't manage their marketing departments to risk, they don't see and manage or even think about these risks because they're viewing a false static paradigm through ROI, which isn't really what's occurring, right? These things are unstable, they're changing, they're dynamic, yet the way people measure it and think about it is very static and very linear. So there's a contrast there, right? It leads to a butting of heads, and we see these situations where either internally or with the client relationship of a super affiliate or something like that, people don't totally understand that value, don't understand what's in there, and it gets involved in this. If you're in a let's just say you're a B2B affiliate and you create some great leads for some product and their sales guy never picks up the phone to do that, is that your fault? No, it's an execution thing, and it's a lack of understanding of the value of the relevancy of those leads because they were probably brought in through some search process. So there's different things there, but there's a multitude of things here. So to kind of summarize, there's the risk of the platforms, there's the risk of the relationship between the performance marketing platform, like some of the ones you've mentioned, or that affiliate marketer, and then there's the risk of the company not thinking about this stuff right and managing right. And I think that's really where the biggest opportunity is. And I think the conversation I want to have with you, and I'd love to figure out how to expand over time, is how do we get the performance marketing community to understand that that's in their best interest? Because if we get this managed properly and right, they'll understand what it is. And if they understand what it is, you can price something. If you don't understand what it is, you're going to have emotional decisions all the time. So there's a direct correlation between how much people are willing to pay for something and their actual understanding of the strategic value it's created. And right now, unfortunately, because affiliate marketing tends to have the word marketing in it, it tends to report to a low-level marketer because nobody's ever understood this channel. And I would argue that it's far more strategic and far more important and needs to report much more higher in the organization, especially to people with operational and business and product insights, more than the marketing insights, I would even argue.
Now I'm here with David Dalka, founder and managing director of Fearless Revival. And when we get back, we're going to talk more about more about getting paid what we're worth, more about strategic positioning. And I want to dig a little deeper into this word marketing that you're right. It's tacked onto the end of our industry, affiliate marketing. And it does have a tendency to put us, as you said, in a lower lower position in the I guess the importance scale of a company, because sometimes we get treated just like a newspaper, an advertising company that's very easily replaced and not really overly appreciated. So we'll do that and more right after the break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
How much are your best ideas worth? PriorThings.com gives you an added layer of protection for all of your intellectual property, ideas, and creative things. New business idea, pitch deck, PowerPoint presentation, song lyrics, source code, killer blog posts. We help you protect it all. How do we do it? We use the same technology platform that secures transactions for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Learn more at PriorThings.com. Check out exclusive listener pricing for Cranberry Radio listeners by going to bit.ly/foundercircle.
Do you look at the task of ranking your site at the top of the search engines like you would climbing the top of Mount Everest? It doesn't have to be. TopSEOs.com knows how hard that climb can be, and they can make top ranking a reality. Top SEOs sends you to only the right search vendors and agencies that they know will work for you. Since 2002, TopSEOs.com has reviewed and researched the best search engine marketing agencies and solutions providers. Don't risk the cost of falling off the proverbial peak of search rankings. Let Top SEOs give you peace of mind. TopSEOs.com, the independent authority on search vendors.
Where affiliate marketing gets its buzz and mobile has its presence. Cranberry Radio, online anytime at cranberry.fm.
Time now to hear some more Affiliate Buzz. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with David Dalka, founder and managing director of Fearless Revival. Now, David, why don't we shift gears a little bit before we get into more detail? Tell us about your company, Fearless Revival, and why you founded it.
Yeah, I had several different events that made me realize that the paradigm of professional services helping corporations were actually not acting in their best interest. The first and most important of which was I interacted with an alum of my business school who was part of one of those large giant agencies that are, the opposite end of the spectrum, not performance-based, but still a percentage of ad spend base. And after interacting with them, I saw that they were very happy with the current paradigm. Hey, I make 10% of whatever the heck the guy spends, and whether it works or not, or whether it increases their revenue or cash flow or market share, I get paid and it doesn't matter. But what it made me realize was, okay, why are companies still signing those contracts when there's performance marketers available, when there's search available, when there's many other channels that would bring more accountability, more effectiveness to those people, and that affects all people in this community. So there's opportunities for affiliates to make more. There's opportunities for platforms to make more. It's just we have to get senior leadership's head around the idea that this is actually a better value for people than some of the existing paradigms around brand. And the second part was a friend of mine who was a senior search marketer at a large corporation said, I'm coming to Chicago. I want to take you to Gibson's. I want to have dinner. And I want to talk about a problem I'm having. And you're one of the few people on earth that even understand the problem. And I'm like, okay, I'll take that steak dinner. And he comes here and we sit down and we get to that part of the conversation where I say, what's bothering you? And he drags out one of these giant PowerPoint decks out of his briefcase from a large strategy firm whose name does not need to be mentioned. And he says, this is our 5-year plan at our company. I have one problem with it. I said, what's that? He said, it doesn't include my department's function. A guy with a huge 7-figure budget for search.
Well, and we hear this a lot in this industry where the affiliate marketing manager or the affiliate department, which a lot of times, even in very large companies, consists of somebody who's been pulled out of some other department and said, here, you are now the affiliate manager, go make it happen. And they don't have a budget. They don't really have much of anything to work with. So which leads to the question, how do we prove then that it's a better value? Because I think if we could prove it, then it should be a no-brainer, but that seems to be the challenge. So how do we prove it?
I think a lot of the existing data already is there. It's just never been presented with the right voice to the right people, which is why you and I have had some back channel conversations about this, and why, after this podcast, I'd love to, talk with other people in this community who have some of those platforms, and we should be having more conversations about this. The media is not going to tell this story for us, because the media is in the pocket with the existing paradigm, because the media makes money off of, let's face it, pay-per-click ads off, CPM ads on the banners of the sides of large traffic sites. They don't care about performance marketing. They don't care about what you and I are talking about. They care about, hey, I can make more money off the existing paradigm. So the major media is never going to tell this story. So it's the responsibility of this community to have one-to-one conversations and back channels, and then amplify that through conversations like the one you and I are sharing so wonderfully right now. And we need to repeat that. So we need to do that here. We need to do that in webinars. We need to do that in conferences to leadership groups. We need to do that to, one-to-one conversations where somebody gets a call from somebody outside the marketing department, says, I want to understand this stuff. Let's have those conversations then. I can be involved in those and help people slowly understand what they should focus on and why, which is the biggest problem here. Upper management outside of marketing does not understand its marketing channels.
Well, and in today's environment in the affiliate space, with attribution now being so prevalent, and which adds layers of complexity, but it also adds more clarity if things are set up properly. You can actually see what's going on. But then, it also reminds me that sometimes, and I have this with clients, where you're really driving a lot of revenue for them, and things are really going very, very well. But when you try to get to the data, and you get a glimpse of it, and you get hints sometimes, but sometimes we don't have that data because the company hides it. Because I've found in a lot of cases they don't want us to know, because they realize that if we do know how much money we're making for them, then we're going to want more money. So there's still some tug of war going on here. So what's a further solution to this?
Well, I think a part of it is that it's a scarcity mentality, right? I mean, we still meet people I still meet companies that where search marketers, paid search marketers work there, and they say, we run out of budget on the 15th of the month, and they don't run any more pay-per-click ads the rest of the month. It's not that they wouldn't be effective. It's just the management style of what they're doing is obsolete because they don't understand the medium.
Yeah.
Your pay-per-click's going to be have the same ROI in the second half of the month in most cases than it would in the first half, barring any major holiday issues. And, there's those things there. So people need to really think about these issues, and it all gets back to this org structure thing. I want to help every company in the world reorganize their marketing departments so that the orphan stepchild people get a seat at the table, and that means SEOs, that means affiliates, that means anybody that's undermanaged. That even includes people like event marketers. Beyond that, there's undermanaged things because they're all under this thing with this brand marketer who allegedly is going to manage all this to some creative process, and the reality is, that's not the reality. That's just the task that needs to be done. That's not managing the business relationships, and that's where these people are doing it here. So, I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just ignorance, and ignorance can only become overcome by awareness and education, which is why conversations like this one and other ones that we should have in the future are so important. And I look forward to, amplifying this. And that's why it's fun to have this conversation is, to some people, this is the first time I've ever thought about it. Right.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I had a partner that's got to be 20 some odd years ago in another company, and I was in charge of the marketing, and we didn't have much of a budget. And I realized through knocking my head against the wall because I came up with a little strategy where we would distribute 10,000 door hangers every month to residents in the area. And every month that would bring us, and I remember it clearly, it'd bring us almost exactly 100 customers every month, and they'd pay $66 on average, so $6,600. And the door hanger campaign cost us like $3, and we ended up with an extra $3,600 and a customer that was now paying between $10 and $20 a month. Well, the battle that I was having was with my partner, who was an accountant and quite frankly an idiot, because he, in his mind, in his paradigm, you only spend so much money per month on marketing, and if you spend any more than that, then it's not correct. Even though it was highly successful, and that made no sense to me at all. And you're right. There's some departments that they'll say, okay, in the search space, we got this much of a budget. Meanwhile, in a lot of cases, it's opened up the floodgates to them for customers, but they just don't seem to know how to track that. Or what is it, David? Is it just that they're just stuck in an old paradigm?
It's a combination of factors. Part of it is an old paradigm where people just aren't aware of those things, and but then there's this newer part, which is a lot of people in these spaces know things about technology, but they know nothing about business. I was just at an event this week where a company was talking to me about they do something in the phone business and involving phone technology and tracking that there, and they're saying they're having trouble getting younger people to really understand and implement their product on the technology side because none of them ever talk on the phone. So it's a combination of both sides. Sometimes the new can have side effects, so it's like this. There is no ideal person in the marketplace, which is why we need to work together as a team. That's why we have to work together to create cross-cultural conversations outside of this space, not just talk to the same affiliate marketers every week. And I love you all, but we have to communicate beyond our borders. And when I say our borders, beyond the 10 conferences that talk about this stuff, beyond the couple places that are there. The only way this community is ever going to get understood is for people to really understand the superior value that it creates. And right now it doesn't have a senior voice at the table that's as loud on your side. And I want to be on your sides because I know how hard some of you work. I see some of the great results you do, and I see some of the, let's face it, a lot of the innovation in internet marketing comes from this space. It starts here all the time. You can think of hundreds of examples, maybe even thousands of examples over the time you've done this podcast where you've met people that told you something where you're like, I never heard that before, and then 3 years later, everyone in the world's doing what that guy did. Yeah, that gal did.
Seen it over and over and over again. You're exactly right. Now I'm here with David Dalka, founder and managing director of Fearless Revival. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, I want to talk with David about, I guess, what would you consider ideal situations where we can really, or maybe you can really make a significant difference for people. We'll do that and more right after the break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
Is your website hacked?
Is your website displaying error messages or loading slowly? Even if there are no signs of malicious activity, your site may still be compromised. Websites, like cars, require regular maintenance to perform at their best and not leave you stranded. At Fjorge, our website maintenance experts can help you assess which one of our maintenance plans will best support your needs. Visit fjorgedigital.com or call 612-877-3840 and get the support and protection your website and business deserve. That's FJORGE digital.com.
Looking for a white label SEO and social platform for your clients? Think
eBrands.
Free and unlimited SEO audit reports.
eBrands.
Premium Facebook apps and welcome page creators.
eBrands.
Twitter management app, analytics, and mobile site generators.
eBrands.
Let eBrands manage your search and social media campaigns and give you and your clients access to their white label dashboard, which have great reports that will wow your clients and deliver great ROI and results. Try eBrands for 30 days. Go to eBrandsWithAZ.com or call 1-866-625-5717. That's eBrands with a Z for
eBrands. A more refreshing kind of talk radio. Cranberry Radio. Cranberry.fm.
Time now to hear some more affiliate buzz. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with David Dalka, founder and managing director of Fearless Revival, and we're talking about the potential for strategic positioning in the pay-for-performance marketing space, and really with the underlying idea to make sure we're all getting paid what we are worth. And which leads me to this question, David. What would you consider an ideal situation where you think where you can make a significant difference for people?
Anything where there's a sign that there might be a sense of urgency to do something different. And that can include anything from any new member of the executive team, a new CEO, a new CFO, a new CMO. That could include, underperformance in a certain period of time where, it's pretty clear that a change needs to occur. And the way that the business strategy and marketing strategy are being run need to be rethought. Anything where there's different types of things are occurring at the edges, either the best of breed company that wants to be better, or that company that's being challenged and wants to do the other thing. But let's face it, the company in the middle that's coasting along, that's fine. They're not this conversation. They don't care. Let's face it. The innovators are going to come from the edges where the people need to think about it differently because they're being forced to. And when I've gotten into those situations, sometimes the results have been pretty dramatic because they did everything I suggested rather than just saying, "Oh yeah, okay, we checked the box."
It's funny you mentioned I don't care, and you're right. The ones in the middle area, they don't. Reminds me of my little granddaughter, Hannah. We're off on a road trip. She was in the back of the minivan. I happened to be driving. And I'm looking at her in the mirror, and I said something to her. She looks right back at me, and she goes, "I don't care." And then I looked at her and said, "What?" So I said something else to her, and she goes, "I don't care that." And it's just so funny. So those aren't the people we're looking for. We're looking for the ones, although I'm going to keep her. She's a keeper. So you're mentioning, the ones you're talking about are the ones that really have changes in the wind. They know they need to change. They may be not quite sure why or where, but there's a problem.
Maybe even take that down another notch and make it a little bit more tactical for people. That anytime that person comes back and starts to push back on how much they're paying for you, maybe it's a sign that they're having some other kind of financial problem. Or likewise, if they come to you and they're starting a program, whether you're a advertising platform or whether you're an individual affiliate, the bottom line is when they're starting something new is a good time to talk about this as well.
So what would you say differentiates you, your style of strategic advisory services?
It really comes down to this issue of the fact that let's go with a basic fact. 99% of the people you will meet that you sell services to that have an MBA from a fancy program who might be running some company you're selling to have never been trained in how to judge and acquire services, period. There is no class in it at the major schools. So the most important decisions that an executive will ever make, they actually have no training for. So they frequently make emotional decisions rather than rational ones. So it gets down to people needing to rethink that process and understanding it. So in the marketing space, we talked about agencies. Okay, there's a lot of the big global conglomerates still do a percentage of ad spend model, as we discussed. Is that the right model for 2017? Probably not. But on the strategy consulting side, most of these firms are not offering old school strategy the way that Peter Drucker and Tom Peters and other Russell Aikoff and other greats of the past are. They're just providing outsourcing of large numbers of people at lowest wages possible to those people and earning spread on that. And they want to keep those people there as long as possible, whether they're effective or not. So it's about what do you want to accomplish and what model is appropriate for you. So I would assert that probably somewhere between 80 and 90% of all companies don't have the right set of professional services advisors period at all. And they need to rethink that entire thing, which is where we could have this conversation and reopen those doors, because, it's having endless PowerPoints from certain firms might be better spent on added marketing budget, for example.
So now we're coming up against the clock here. Tell us and share with our listeners the services that you provide and how people can get in touch with you, because I know you're striking some chords here.
Yeah, I provide advisory services to senior level executives, preferably at the C-level. It doesn't have to be there, but they just need to be involved so that the sponsorship is there. Executive retreats where I help companies and individuals rethink what's going on in that world, and that can be a group of 10. That could be just meeting somebody for lunch at a fancy place and going over that, and different keynotes. So I'm happy to do those different types of things. Also very happy to do B2B thought leadership partnerships with people you're friendly with. They can reach me at fearlessrevival.com and look at the website, think about it, and reach me via that website.
Sounds terrific. Sounds great. And I'd love to have you back on. I can see we're out of time, but I just want to thank you for taking the time to join us today and sharing your thoughts. It's been very interesting and definitely an eye-opener.
It was wonderful to reconnect with you, James, and I look forward to continued conversations on this topic, as we've only just scratched the surface today.
Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing you in Chicago again soon. And we are now out of time officially. Keep in mind that if there's anything David mentioned here that you missed and you'd like to review, that we do take all the show notes for you, including links to everything mentioned here today. And you can find the show notes for this particular episode at jamesmartell.com/AB461. I also invite you to come and hang out with us here live every Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m. Pacific time here on Cranberry Radio for the Affiliate Buzz. And a final reminder that if you'd like to be alerted each week to new episodes, I encourage you to take a minute right now, open your email and subscribe to the Affiliate Buzz by sending a blank email to affiliate_buzz@aweber.com. David, thanks again. And to our listeners, thanks for listening to another edition of the Affiliate Buzz.
The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and their guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of Cranberry News Marketing and Cranberry.fm. Rebroadcasts or retransmission of this content without proper consent is prohibited.